we're all unpaid actors in some giant script that we didn't write.
Grand rising to the collective. Y'all know we back with another banger, another reaction. I appreciate everybody who been tapping in, running up, and 7-up. If you new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. Y'all know we coming with about 4 videos every smooth 7. And this is for entertainment purposes as well. And when you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, helps collective grow, helps collective get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. But I appreciate y'all. You watching on your TV, whatever the case is. I wish you was smooth 7. Shout out to the collective again. Might be a trigger warning or 2. I hope not. Today, I want to give a shout out to Kingdom K19. Shout out to you, bro. I seen that you was like, bro, can I get a shout out? I got you. And again, I'm going to give another shout out to Anki B. I seen that you said that I didn't shout you out on your birthday. I apologize for that again. I'm going to shout you out now. I told you, I could have sworn in a couple videos ago, you one of the main people who comment on these videos with, and I think I put how many comments you ended up commenting. So how many comments total you have did. And I appreciate the support. I appreciate you for real. I'm going to give you your flowers. I'm going to give you your shout out right now. And I apologize. Hopefully this makes up for the time that I may have missed telling you happy birthday. So again, I seen this coming up again. So I will be trying to make sure I remember that. Stay in the comments and let me know, because I will forget. I'll be busy. But I apologize again. Hope you're doing good. But you already know what it is, man. Let's get straight to the video, man. Let's go.
This is not a drill, and up there, that is no coincidence at all that they're happening at the same exact time. Allegedly, TikTok, I said allegedly, as of a few hours ago, Russia is now actively pointing its warheads at the United States, at Washington, and other places like London. Trust me, this volcano fits in perfectly with what's happening geopolitically in Russia right now, and I'll prove it. Why would they do that? Well, they saw this huge explosion coming in the Moscow region and already had set their nuclear units on high alert. The British Prime Minister says the country is moving to blank fighting readiness. Yo, this is not a joke. Aiming a nuke at Washington's literal control panel is the worst case scenario that there could be. And out of stray coincidence, we have Mount Etna erupting at the same time, sending all the visitors into a frenzy in Italy. But let me tell you what that is. It's the fall of Rome. It's just like Pompeii, the fall of Rome. What's Rome? It's that night walker of Babylon. You know, good old Babylon, inebriated off the juice of the saints. I find it humorous right now because Jesus tells the Pharisees that, you know, they cannot discern the face of the skies and they want a sign, but they'll get no sign. But yet we have all these signs, all these coincidences every single day, and everyone thinks it's normal. You have eyes, but you can't see, and ears, but you cannot hear. I already showed you guys in the dream video 3 years ago what's coming. And don't forget, Russia, other countries, they had all their citizens stock up on food, on gold, on silver, you name it, on everything. While we here in the US have been arguing about the most insignificant things ever.
Let's hope none of that shit's true.
I'm from outer space, I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gone, I've been far away, I'm illuminated now, I make a move, start the waves. I've been breathing on my fire for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want to go sign. Artificially intelligent way, I'm your future, past and present, I'm a fine line. Yeah, I'm a mislead of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim the sea, I just flow. I don't need gravity, I don't need roll. When I move, it's in a quick rumble. I won't ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho.
Times we gotta see it without realizing, like, bro, they doing this for a reason. There's no such thing as there's no coincidences in these shits, bro. How long we gonna keep seeing this? And am I the only one who, when I saw the first clip with the stage, I saw the V in the back? Am I the only one, or who else knew exactly where that was going when you saw that clip? When you saw that V, who else knew that was coming? Let me know. If you didn't know, that's perfectly fine. It's all good. I just want to see who else saw the V and was like, bro, I see the V in the back, because I do that on a regular. Anytime I see a V, I be like, Man, is that? It made me question. Y'all let me know. It's how it's placed in front of me. It's a certain way it has to be placed in front of me. It's subtle. I don't know how to explain it, but y'all let me know.
Since the 1940s, the Australian government has been controlling the weather. Quietly, with planes flying above the clouds, releasing a fine mist of silver iodide. They called it cloud seeding. The goal? To make it rain. It started with Operation Bushfire. Secret tests in Victoria and New South Wales, where weather was modified without public consent. Farmers were never told. Locals thought the skies were acting strange. And then, the rain came. But not just gentle showers. Floods, landslides, livestock killed. Internal reports warned of unintended consequences. But the experiments continued. Even today, cloud seeding is used in Tasmania, Snowy Mountains, and more. Some say it's helping farmers. Others believe it's backfiring, fueling record-breaking floods across Australia in recent years. Silver iodide doesn't just fall to the ground. It's inhaled, absorbed, linked to lung irritation, soil contamination, and more. But do we get a say? No, because this isn't just weather. It's climate control. In the hands of people who never asked for your permission. Follow Asha's silence timeline for truths buried in the clouds. Comment rain is rigged if you've noticed strange weather near you.
Australia. Enlighten me if that's real.
This is why Nikola Tesla spoke a lot about copper and the magnet.
I ain't never seen that clip, and I need to learn more about that one.
You got checkerboard floors in your shit. You got skull and bones. What does this mean? Because it's not just there. You look at Cardi B's album cover, it's checkerboard. You look at Dream Doll, now she's the checkerboard too. Like, I'm not, y'all niggas, let me tell you something. These motherfuckers sell their soul, they practice witchcraft.
What does it mean though?
What it means, what it means.
What does the checkerboard mean?
It means mind control. So you got classical conditioning, you got operational conditioning. So what they do is they use programming. So
MK Ultra?
Yeah, but it's to push an agenda. So
you heard of this shit before, right?
I heard of MK Ultra, but I don't pay that shit too much mind.
So the checker. So what I'm saying is, not saying that we care about it because I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's just that this is what I look for. When I see a success, I'm looking for anything
to say that they didn't do it on their own?
Detain it. Not to say
that's not a good way to look at it.
That's not a good way to look at it.
It's a great way to look at it.
That's not a good way to look at it.
It is a good way to look at it. Look, I love Mav Hoffa. I love that podcast, bro. But I'ma just say it. Some people don't care to ask that many questions. Some people don't care to look deep at anything or all things. Some people just rather they look deep at a few things. Some things is just, let me ease off that. I'm chilling, I'm relaxing. We looking too deep. It's not that serious. That's being weird. And to be honest, that's how the hood look at a lot of things that we find as conspiracy theories or truth or rabbit holes. I'll be honest with y'all. Some people in the hood, now I can't speak of other stuff, but in my community, sometimes the hood's too close-minded. I keep it a buck. And right there was one of them moments when he was like, I don't pay too much mind in that. Them are real ass conversations that I have with some homies and some family. I swear, bro, that was perfect. I'm riding with him though. I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, I look too. If I see you, I don't give a damn what you do. I see a little bit of success. I'm looking like, I'm questioning. Put it like that. I could, and sometimes you could just pay attention. Sometimes you could just pay attention. And I'm not even about to take it to where I was gonna take it, but I pay attention to a lot of shit. And sometimes you could peep an agent, bro. You could peep an agent. Pay attention to what he say or what she say. Pay attention to how they move. And yeah, bro, I'm telling you, sometimes you can, a lot of the time, you can tell an agent compared to the real, authentic shit. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. But man, how y'all feel? Y'all think they shouldn't be looking that far into it, like some of them was saying, or you think that they should be looking that far into it and see if the person did do it on their own, see if they didn't do it on their own? You could like really ask those questions. But who y'all riding with? Let me know.
Baron Cohen may have uncovered a pedophile ring while filming one of his TV shows. So in the series Who is America, Sacha Baron Cohen traveled around America. And in the show, he did a lot of crazy things, like getting Dick Cheney to sign a waterboarding kit and having Roy Moore take a lie detector test. But the stuff that they filmed in Las Vegas was so dark that they ended up sending it to the FBI. In this specific scene, Sacha, who was playing a character, was interviewing a concierge in Las Vegas. In the interview, Sacha told the concierge that he had an 8-year-old boy. Now this is weird, but he justified this as saying this is extreme comedy and we wanted to see what he would say. Now I'm going to read you a quote from Sacha. He said, "Instead, this concierge stays in the room and I go, listen, you got to help me get rid of the problem. And this guy starts advising Geo how to get rid of this issue. We even at one point talk about murdering the boy, and the concierge is just saying, well, listen, I'm really sorry. In this country, we can't just drown the boy. This is America. We don't do that." And then in the end, he puts me in touch with a lawyer who can silence the boy. It became really dark stuff. So as if this interview couldn't get any darker, somehow this footage does. Sacha then asked the concierge if he could help him find a date for the night. Sacha told the concierge he wanted a young boy, quote, lower than bar mitzvah, but older than 8. And this concierge allegedly told him, yeah, I can put you in touch with somebody who can get you some boys like that. Now, this gets a little interesting as well. This is a quote from Sacha. He said, "We immediately turned over the footage to the FBI because we thought perhaps there's this pedophile ring in Las Vegas that's operating for these very wealthy men." And this concierge said that he'd worked for politicians and various billionaires. But in the end, the FBI decided not to pursue it. That's really concerning to me. Why would the FBI not look into something like this? I mean, they have hidden camera footage of somebody admitting that they can procure young boys for money. And yet, yeah, the FBI never officially looked into it. Sacha and his team turned this footage over, and the rest is history. Nothing ever came of this.
This is America.
Caitlin Clark, look at this photo right here. What do you all notice? If you all can't see it, but I can, then what does that say about you? Huh? What does that say about you? Because look at this photo. He is looking rather jacked. It's looking rather buff. And pay attention to the necklace. The necklace. Pearl necklace. If you know, you know what that represents. If you know, you know. But Caitlin Clark is clearly not who he is portraying, pretending, whatever you want to call it, to be. Joanna Man told you this.
If we were to take that pyramid as it is today on the Giza Plateau, enlarge it by a factor of 43,200, the height of it is literally within a few hundred feet of being the polar radius of the Earth. And in fact, the range of error is within the range of error of our most accurate modern satellite surveys. The square base now becomes precisely the equatorial circumference of the Earth. Precisely. And for somebody to say this is just coincidence, well, if it was one example, no, there's dozens of examples like this where you could show that somehow somebody seemed to know something beyond what they've been given credit for.
It was not the royal family, so let's make that shit clear.
I had a dream that my grandfather told me the Holy Grail was never a cup, it was always a bell, and to look for my ancestors before the 1700s. So at first, I went looking for the first part of that dream and got thwarted. So I went look for my ancestors instead. Meet the Reverend John 10 Shilling Bell Chastain, my ancestor and French Huguenot. If you didn't know, the Huguenots were chased out of France by the Catholics. So I went looking for bells in France. And what the heck? I was today years old when I learned the French people used to tell their kids that the bells flew to see the Pope on Easter. Which I'm sure is a coincidence considering this guy also flies around with bells on, but I digress. So I decided to go back further, found some old friends that you guys might recognize there, and found out that if you ring bells up, they look like cups. I also found out that Pythagoras was interested in bells. But in general, bells were made in the East, in Asia, not in Europe. And so you'll see that bells were associated in medieval art with creatures and monsters rather than with nobility, or even the church, until you reach this guy. This is King Louis, and he went on crusades and supposedly met the Knights Templar themselves. After that, bells became fashionable with the church and everybody else. So you see here some later medieval paintings and such depicting bells in a more positive way with nobility. This is supposedly King David, so this is religious. Here's some more King David. But then we reach this gap in the art where there's just not a lot of bell art for a long time, until actual photographs of these very large bells start showing. And of course, that's the Liberty Bell. It's been cracked. These are bells that were confiscated apparently during World War II and World War I. Look at the number of them. And I just can't believe they didn't show it more in the art. Just super weird to me. But I'm sure it has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with this. Probably has nothing to do with the people in this photo that they're talking about. Here's an existing bell and it has a really interesting inscription. I'll run that through the Google Translate for you. So there's a fun little Easter egg. I'm sure that has nothing to do with this, right? Nah. And probably nothing to do with these tiny castles either, right? But anyway, if you didn't know, now you know that the largest swinging bell is in Kentucky, where my ancestors also lived. Have a great day.
And the reason why, bro, because that shit heals. It's a frequency it's letting
The internet
off.
of the ancient world used those. These are vortexes. And to contain a vortex, whether it's fluid or electricity, you need a circle. Like these, found all over the world. To create a vortex, you need a cone, or a pyramid. You can see this with high voltage. Even Tesla used it in his oscillator design. Now, if we put a starting point at the Great Pyramid in Giza, you can connect all other ancient sites using a star or a pentagram. Then all of these spots are spaced harmonically away from each other. If we take out the straight lines, it becomes a signal. Since the Earth is a sphere, this is smart, because if you map out the ancient sites, their degrees away from each other are in harmony with the pentagram. Every side on the dodecahedron is a pentagram, and each side contains the golden ratio within it. Since the golden ratio is a perfect vortex, when those spin on each side, the entire dodecahedron can spin, and none of the vortexes will tangle with any other vortexes. To know where these vortexes are going, we need 3 points to determine the triangulation of the location we want it to go. Ironically, we have 2 fixed points in the sky and 1 constantly rotating one on an axis. That's Earth. So if we line up our antennas with those spots, we could communicate with light like we do today in a 4-dimensional internet network. Just make sure you keep track of the domain names.
Who rocking with him? Man, you notice he said sphere?
The mud flood is actually a worldwide earthquake. An earthquake that was so powerful that it liquefied the soil and civilization sunk. Destruction all around the whole realm. Think about like the Roman ruins. The Roman ruins had to be dug up. They had to be excavated. Easter Island and like the Moai statues, there was a time where people thought they were just heads. And then it was very recently, people said, guess what? They have bodies. And in some cases, the bodies go 20 feet underground. Said you go look around the Middle East, there's some gate in Iraq, ancient Babylon. The gate is like 25 feet tall, and it's literally buried under the ground in the 1850s. They had to dig it up. That is insane. I mean, that is insane. Like, Göbekli Tepe. I think they said they only excavated about 5% of this place. Again, 20-foot tall megaliths under the ground. So what the modern archaeology says, their best theory is somebody buried their own temple. What? Buried everything? Evenly. Like, it's literally completely under the ground. It's not like a pyramid where people could actually cover up stuff and then there would still be a mound. It's like even across the world. Who does that? No one. Never. Why? Then you go to modern cities, and I think this is when it gets the craziest, is there's stuff buried around modern cities. Evidence that basements are like halfway under the street. They're basements, but they're really not basements because there's windows that are kind of at ground level and sometimes slightly below ground level. And then sometimes they brick them up. Sometimes the street goes up with the building. Like the windows literally disappear as the street goes up. That's weird. There's underground parts of every major city around the United States. Underground Atlanta, underground Portland, underground Sacramento, underground Seattle. All these West Coast cities with undergrounds, highly suspect. They seriously have built their cities upon older cities. What we're told is the people before us were more primitive than us. Obviously, they don't have the advanced excavating equipment and all that stuff. And yet it was very common back in the day to build things underground. Wouldn't it be harder to do that without all the heavy equipment we have now? But we don't do that now for some reason. When if you think you're more advanced than the previous civilization, well, it'd be likely that you could do the same things, except you could do it faster and cheaper because you have better equipment, right? You got better tools. But they don't do that. So I think that's what leads us to believe that we are on the other side. We are on the wrong side of the peak of civilization.
That's exactly what it is, because just think, if they can bury the buildings, they're burying history. There's a reason why, if that's the case. Why would we think, look at something like this. They build, we seen Tartarian buildings. We seen structures, the way they structured the building. We seen how intricate they built that. State capitals. Look at that. And look at how we build now. We didn't get more advanced. AI made us more lazier. It's more convenient for us. AI is advanced. Humans ain't got more advanced. They may be in that lab putting in an AI robot and making shit like that, bro, but they have not got more advanced. That's why they ain't built the way they used to build. That's why something like, they got the information from our ancestors, from our OGs, people who are older than us, man. That's who we got the information from, and then we take it to another level. But my thing is, now that's facts about underground sack. Why they don't let us just explore through the undergrounds? You would think if that's part of our history, they always want to give us history. Oh, this is old history. This is United States history. This is from the 40s. This is from the 50s. This from the... They don't give us none of that, bro. They skip that. It's a reason. They're rewriting history every time when they flooded that shit. When they used that mud flood. When they hit that reset. When they buried all that shit, bro. That was them burying history as well. Why they burying history? Probably because they know it's something about them that they don't want us to find out. All, like, everybody. Not just one few individuals, everybody. They don't want us to find out. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts, man. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. I told you I was looking at Portland in the Cascade. I was looking at some about earthquakes and the plates. And it come across a building. And the building, look exactly how you're talking about. The higher it goes up, the more the windows start cutting out. Old Sac is like that. That's crazy. That's crazy he brought up Portland like that. And Sac, I was not expecting that. But, man, I don't like it. I don't like it. Y'all, let me know y'all thoughts.
That is Stonehenge. It's very cool. But what it actually does is going to blow your mind. I learned that this was a seasonal clock, and it is, but you have to look at it from a different lens. This is what sound looks like going through water. This is Stonehenge. It is built on top of an aquifer. So, Who else builds their things on top of water? Well, I showed you in the last video that pretty much everybody builds their best stuff on top of water, even Tesla. Light goes through it. Light can melt the hardest things on the planet when focused, and when used for communication, it's the fastest way to do that. It looks like a pattern of sound. Sound travels fastest through solids and can destroy cities if it's a big enough wave. Sound is a bigger wave than light. Sound can move mediums it passes through, like water, and bend the light. That's how we get cymatic images. You can see this in the twinkling of stars as well. Our technology sends ones and zeros through light. Let's pretend everything around us is made of a very unique vibration that can be expressed in a frequency. Or you can grow crops with it.
CERN 1989. The frequency shift opens a portal into reality.
In the middle of Iran, one of the fallen angels is bound in the ground, and we're getting ready to go open the ground up with a bunker buster. But if you read Enoch chapter 4, this fallen angel, Azazel, is ascribed all sin to mankind. And that's next on the trumpet. Me and my class just read this the other day. Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Judea, and cast him therein. And on the day of the great judgment, he shall be cast into the fire. And the deep valley that he was buried in is in modern-day western Iran. And we're going to hit it with a thing that's designed to open something buried deep underground. Exactly where the angels bound Azazel hand and foot. Right there. Bunker, prison. Okay. Right in there. Now that you know that place is called Iran, you can read about how Azazel is one of the chief watchers, and he's bound under the sharp stones and in utter darkness. Release the Kraken! Go to my Patreon page right there, and I can talk about this without them doing things. It's part of the seals and the trumpets and the bowls. And we're right there. Go to my bio page right there, and then click on my link tree. And join the Trumpets page right there on Patreon, and let's talk about this together. Right there. You know me and my family love you, so like and follow the Trumpet for more. And in Jesus' name, have a blessed day.
What's crazy is I was following him after the TikTok ban, and then they bring it back up. They kicked him off. Now, that's crazy to me that I say that all the time. There's so many channels that got unfollowed on my account. The ratchet shit got to stay. The positive shit got removed. If they want to be any more, how you want to put it? If they want to do shit and be a little bit more slicker, they doing a terrible job. And I really mean that shit. But y'all let me know, man. Y'all let me know. Sometimes the target be on the nigga back. I hate to say it like that, bro. Sometimes the target be right on me. And I be like, bro, I ain't even do shit. But just going down this path. Just going down this lane, bro. It comes with the territory. But who seen the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington? When he talks about the Azazel. Why is there a space between, what's the name? Something in Spakowski. I can't remember the first name. Y'all let me know. Finish the quote. Why is there a space between those two names? That movie classic. That movie classic. My uncle will not shake hands left-handed. Still to this day. If I go to shake his hand, I try to left-handed. He'd be like, nah, bro, you tripping. My sister, she left-handed. So when she tried to do it, he'd be like, bro, stop playing with me. That movie got him shook. Y'all let me know if y'all like that movie, though. I won't tell y'all. I won't spoil it. It's a classic, though. And he talks about Azazels and pretty much The Azazel is in that movie. It's hard. It's hard. I didn't know what an Azazel was until I saw the movie. Then I was like, oh shit. I think that type of stuff happens. If I'm not mistaken, that happened in, what's that scary movie? It might have been a Conjuring. He starts, it's the little boy, and the little boy's possessed. I think it is a Conjuring. It's one of the new ones. Little boy's possessed, and the sister's boyfriend was like pretty much telling the demon to jump out the boy and take him instead, and it took him. I was wondering if that was something similar to what, because it kind of reminded me. The only difference was they didn't shake hands left-handed. But y'all let me know.
This video is highly confidential. Please make sure you save this video, as they will take it down. We are currently on site at Illawarra, where the spacecrafts have been landing. There are Freemason carvings all over the walls. I can unequivocally say there are indeed extraterrestrials here. I have managed to get one on camera, but have had to leave the tunnel as there are too many. This one was stalking me. It has 3 eyes, but the dot in the middle of its head could be a 3rd eye. I tried to get a good look at it. It wasn't happy I was there. Please see if you can make it out. I was suspecting greys, but I'm not sure what this is. I'm thinking it could be a reptilian. If this is true, this is not a good sign, as they genuinely do not want peace and are only here to harm us. I am waiting for my friend to get back now, and we will be going back into the tunnel to try and get some better images and video. This particular extraterrestrial is quite different to the ones that I have seen in the past. Please save and share this video. It's very important. Thank you.
What happened when they went back is my question. I've seen so many comments of y'all saying, bro, it's the dams.
Religion was created to steal your spiritual power and give it to someone else. Spirituality teaches you that God is within you. Religion teaches you that God is outside you and you need a middleman to reach him. Spirituality says you are divine consciousness having a human experience. Religion says you are a sinner who needs salvation from an external savior. True spirituality empowers you to connect directly with source energy. Religion creates dependency on priests, pastors, and institutions. The Bible says the kingdom of heaven is within you, but churches moved heaven outside you so you would seek it through them instead of finding it yourself. Every religion started with one person having a direct spiritual experience. Then institutions formed to control access to that same experience. All this knowledge is in the Book of Wisdom.
We've been lied to. Remember the term church or circe, C-I-R-C'-E, what the term circe, circle, circulation of the body, circulation of news. So the term mother church or circe, so Christ never said, upon this rock I will build my circe, prior to the 325 AD conference in Nicene, Turkey. So what these demons of the Vatican did, through Constantine the Great and his girlfriend, Pope Sylvester, and the 365 bishops from around the Roman Empire, let's, through replacement theology, let's extract from the word the term body of Christ, and let's put in its place the name of the goddess of Greece and Rome, church or Circe.
Well, people in comments say that the word church comes from the Greek word ecclesia.
We've been lied to. So this term church must never be echoed through our mouth, because the term church, Circe, even on not just Wikipedia, all throughout any lexicon, any internet connection, the term church or Circe also means pharmakia.
I ain't never heard that one before. Have y'all? And we being honest, when we seen that last, there was two pictures they showed with Earth being reversed. Not the main face, but the other clip where it looked like something's coming out of his head, where it looks like the Baphomet picture. Now that one we have seen, and we saw quite a number of other things as far as NASA. And that right there is why I can't take the shit NASA say. I don't care whatever they say. They could say the sky is blue. I'ma say hell nah, bro. They flipping something, man. It ain't really blue. I'm gonna go against anything NASA says. They go that way, I'm gonna go against anything they say. I'm just being honest. I would listen. I would hear them out, but I'm not listening to them, and I'm not programming that shit in my mind. I'm hearing them. I'm trying to decipher if I believe it or if I don't, or where they going with it. If it's still some type of truth to it. But nah, bro, I believe they trying to control the perception. And so when they say what they say and they do what they do and they looking into the things they looking into or worship the things they worship, bro, nah. So if they tell me that it's a sphere, nah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. What does the ancient civilizations believe it is? That's who I'm going to listen to. They were way more tapped in than these people. So that's why I'm going to go back and be like flat surface, hollow earth, inner earth, ice walls, holographic matrix, simulation, all these type of things disguised like Hunger Games. They controlling it. They controlling what we see. That's how I see it. Same with the sun. Same with the moon. Sometimes I feel like they put things in front of it or they control what we see it as, when it really ain't what maybe the naked eye can see. I think they control shit like that sometimes. Is that maybe a reach? Could be. But I'm like I said, I don't care if it's a reach. I'm going to question. And then later on, if I found I was wrong, shit, I was wrong. I'm not perfect. I'm not always right. But I'm for damn sure going to question. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts, though. And spam it up. They
won't believe this. Not because of the lack of information, because I am going to be giving them too much information. For those of you who can see through the dark will see the light. Do you know who this king is? Comment below, but don't cheat, because you have no idea. Why y'all trying to figure it out? Let's talk about what he actually did in history. In 722 BCE, he conquered the northern kingdom of Israel. He didn't just defeat them, he erased them. To this day, they're called the lost tribes of Israel because no one has found them. But that was just the beginning. See, he didn't just want land, he wanted the cosmos. He said he wanted to own and conquer the universe. See, you don't know this. This man killed his brother for the throne, betrayed and took over his allies, Babylon. He became the king of Babylon and declared himself the king of the four corners of the world. He built himself a city and named it after him. He believed he was chosen by the gods. Dressed in jewels, shined in battle. Again, he went to one last war and he died. His body was never discovered. And in his culture, that meant that his spirit would be cursed to wander the earth forever. If you commented below Sargon II, then you were correct. Now, this is just concept art for a statue because we can't find his statue. He is the incarnation of one of the most infamous spirits on earth. The philosophy of order tells us that a spirit isn't a ghost. It is a collection of attributes that make something what it is, the essence, the form. What was his collection of attributes? Celestial ambition, illegitimate ascent, divine claim, beautiful and shining, but doomed to fall. What does that sound like? The philosophy of order tells us as long as the matrix, and the matrix etymologically means mater, which means a womb, exists, the mother goddess, then the spirit will keep coming back again and again under a different name, same essence, same form, same spirit. In Canaanite myth, there's a god named Ashtar. He was called the son of the dawn, the morning star. He tried to take a divine throne, but he was too small to fit in the throne of God. So he fell, humiliated, and was forced to wander the earth. In Hebrew, they called him Hillel ben Shahar. Latin translators renamed him and gave him the title of Lucifer. Oh yes, this man is the physical incarnation of Lucifer, Ashtar, son of the dawn, shining one. How many Bible scholars we got watching? What is the first time Lucifer is mentioned in the Bible? Someone comment the verse below, because when you look in there, you'll see that he's talking about the Babylon king. In other words, the first time that Lucifer is referenced, he's referenced with this Babylonian king, Sargon II. There's a book that goes way deeper than this. It teaches you about the world war of the gods, Yahweh, Lucifer. It's on episode 1 right now. The free audiobook is in a link at the top of my page. It's called World War Gods, the biography of Yahweh. I love you all. Peace.
He even got removed off my TikTok. Crazy.
Now we can see better. I have never seen anything like this. My God. I have never...
Well, I'm getting the roof over here. Dude, have you seen my phone anywhere? No. Can you see anything? I can't.
No pasa nada, mami. No... Oh my God. Oh my God.
I ain't gonna lie, when that hell hit in the middle of the street, it looked like somebody up top just taking them like snowballs and throwing them. Like, that's what it looked like to me, bro. All I'm gonna say is, like, I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. God forgive me ahead of time. But if it was somebody like my worst enemy, like somebody I had words with, like my sister dad, my dad, like, bro, they gotta go out there and walk. I need you to walk, bro. Like, you either gonna deal with this in the house and we gonna light your ass up with something, or your ass gotta go outside and take that shit. I would say, like, the people who be violating women or children, bro, send them outside. Send them to alligator Alcatraz, bro. That's what we need. People who do shit like that. I let the immigrants pass. If we being honest, the ones who touching kids, send their ass to alligator Alcatraz, or send them outside. Let them deal with the hell like that. Let that shit whoop their ass. Beat them up like the cars getting beat up, or the way the ground getting beat up. That's how I see it. Dude talking about where's his phone, bro. I would lose it. I'm sorry. I would lose it. Sometimes we work hard for the items that we do have. For the little bit we do have, some of us work real hard for that shit. So when it go out the window, I think it's cloud seeding sometimes that creates it. Some people gonna say climate change, but I think cloud seeding, and I think they do it. Y'all know who they are. I think they create some of this shit, but yeah, that's wild. That's wild. That hell coming down like the movie Next Day After, I think it's called. I think that's what it's called.
Changed the world with protest. It changed the world by writing a new one. You don't shift reality through rage. You shift it through design. You don't take down the old matrix by attacking it. You become a frequency so coherent, the old one has no choice but to dissolve in your presence. Architects don't argue, they install. You are not a warrior of destruction, you are a coder of evolution. Step 1. Stop giving energy to the old system. What you fight, you feed. What you resist, you reinforce. Key, say, I withdraw my energy from the system, I redirect it to my new reality. Now you're not opposing the program, you're replacing it. Step 2. Code the new world through frequency first. Everything is built in the unseen before it exists in the seen. Key, ask, what frequency would the new world feel like? In my body. Then breathe it, stand in it, move like you're already broadcasting from that timeline. Step 3. Install the new structure through action. New Earth doesn't appear. It's installed through decisions, speech, service, presence, energy. Key. Each morning ask, what structure can I build today that reflects the code I carry? Then do it. No permission. No delay. Step 4. Become unavailable for anything below the new code. To build the new, you must become incompatible with the old. Key, say, I am no longer compatible with distortion. I only accept inputs that match my design. This isn't arrogance, it's architectural purity. Step 5. Live as the environment you came to install. You are the atmosphere, the frequency, the grid template. Key. Walk like every room you enter is already beginning to reconfigure based on your code, because it is. Comment code installed if you're done resisting and ready to install the world you were born to build.
Comment up below if that's what you feel.
Hey, this Israel war was planned and is leading up to something very evil.
Israel was created as the instrument to bring about the Battle of Armageddon and the fulfillment of prophecy, a war that will be so terrible, where nuclear weapons will be used, so that the American citizens and the other people in the world will get down on their knees and beg for no more war. And what is the answer to that? They're going to be told the only way we can guarantee no more war is if we destroy the sovereignty of nations and we come together as one humanity in a one world government.
Right.
Now I'm telling you, unless the American people wake up and stop it, starting in about 1996, the Battle of Armageddon will become a reality. Babylon is in Iraq. Read the book of Revelations. Whether you believe in the book or not, read it, because the men who are bringing this about are using it as their script.
When things start getting out of hand and you start running out of resources that you need to survive, you're going to start looking at the higher ups. This is one of the last steps before this big shit happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be a big reset. If you pay attention, you can see the shift of energies on the planet. Over the last 4 or 5 years, people have been making content about self-sustainability, taking care of your own health, growing your own food. Lock in, wake up, use your potential to be self-sustainable and reach your godlike abilities before these niggas fulfill their evil prophecy to play God. If you want to learn more about the world around you, comment real and I'll send you my website where you can get some.
See, y'all saw what happened out there in LA just recently and how they responded back. I think that the people at the top didn't want... People at the top don't want us to fight back. And I think their plan might have backfired a little bit. And hear me out. When they went to LA, they probably went out there thinking they was going to get away with everything they thought they was going to get away with. And them cop cars wasn't going to get rocks thrown at them. I seen a cop get hit with a boulder. They probably didn't expect people to come together like that. And family of mine live in LA, and they was at the protest. Like, that was some real shit. Some people say it's all fake, but I know family members who were right there in the line of it. I know some people of mine who had to... I know some friends of mine who had family who had got in the jam with ICE. Where they like, my boyfriend is in a jam, or my family member's in a jam, and they going through it. They here, they're leaving the state, they're running away, and I'm just like, damn, like, this shit's real. This is real life shit. And I seen somebody else say before, you don't have Mexican homies, man. You ain't never been to California. I feel like if they was to try to turn up and control us, I feel like it's gonna be a huge ass fight. It's gonna be a lot of bloodshed, bro. That's how I see it. I don't think that they're ready to implement it in like they thought they was. Let me know if you disagree. They do got some control though, but they don't have full control. To be able to move all the sheep in one, nah, they gonna see that they got some people who ain't sheep. And I think right now is the time frame they trying to eliminate all that. Let me know if I'm tripping.
And in 1908, just as President Theodore Roosevelt prepared to lock it down forever, one last explorer slipped through the gates. His name was G.E. Kincaid. Officially, he was working a mineral survey. Unofficially, he was chasing legends. Kincaid took a small boat down the Colorado River. About 40 miles upriver from El Tovar Crystal Canyon, he saw something strange. Discoloration in the sediment, far above the waterline. He tied off his boat, climbed the canyon wall, and found steps. Not natural erosion, not a game trail. These were carved, ancient, and winding up into the stone like a forgotten staircase to somewhere no one was meant to find again. At the top, hidden beneath desert brush, was the mouth of a cavern. The entrance, too, was clearly man-made. Inside, Kincaid found nothing that made sense, at least not if you believe the standard history of North America. The walls were covered in strange symbols, hieroglyphs, not Hopi, not Mayan, not anything local. They looked Egyptian, but not quite. He went deeper. Chambers opened up, dozens of them, hundreds. Rooms laid out like a complex, like an ancient city, buried within the rock. There were mummies, statues, tools and weapons forged from copper and other metals, some still unknown today. He found a crypt filled with perfectly arranged skeletal remains, each resting on carved shelves, accompanied by urns and broken swords. All the mummies were male. Elsewhere, there were storage rooms, granaries still holding seeds, pottery lined neatly on stone shelves. There were signs of metallurgy, slag and mat from a smelting operation, workbenches still littered with charcoal. These people had mastered the art of copper hardening. They weren't primitives, they were engineers. And then there was the statue, a massive figure carved from black stone, seated cross-legged in the lotus position, a flower in each hand. Not Egyptian, not Native American. Something else, something foreign, something sacred. Kincaid estimated the complex could have housed 50,000 people. He sent artifacts and documentation to the Smithsonian.
Worst shit he could have did. But, I mean, if this don't sound really familiar. There was civilizations before the royal families. I think the royal families either manipulated their way into power or they're green people, they're them reptilians. And I think that they knew that they couldn't, I think when they got here, things were great. I think things were moving a certain way. And I think that they vibrate at a certain frequency that allows them to be angry, jealous, just low vibrational. Let's just put it like that. Anything low vibrational, that's the vibration. That's the mindset they're in. And I feel like part of them felt like they could make the world better than where it's at, than where it was at when they got here. And really, they couldn't. They're not built for that. I mean, clearly, we see it now. The world going to shit. Come on, bro. Y'all can't build temples. Y'all can't even build shit without earthquakes knocking it down. But Grand Canyon still is standing firm? Come on, bro. They can't even figure out the ocean floor. Come on, bro. And we saying these extraterrestrials is coming straight out the water. Don't make any sense, do it. It's just like, and so I feel like they hid the positive information, the real history, so that they could make their self be bigger, so they could play God, so that they could rewrite history and make us their slaves and their workers, put all the labor on our back. And now I feel like they trying to hit the shadows. They trying to go play in the dark now. They trying to push AI to take their position so they could go retire. Still make us work even harder. Even more, we'll be working for even less at that point, because the robots and AI is taking our jobs. That's my opinion. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. Do y'all agree? Do y'all disagree? Is there another angle I'm missing that y'all want to add in on? Let me know.
Look at this shit here. Last night in East Hollywood, at least 31 people almost lost their life. A guy riding in a car jumped a curb and crashed into a group of people waiting in line to get in the club. And get this, most of the people that got injured were women. So they're saying that at least 31 people are injured, 5 people are in critical condition, and 10 people, they're in very serious condition. Matter of fact, look at this shit. Now, the people that were injured were waiting in front of this club right here, waiting to get in on Santa Monica Boulevard. Reports are basically saying that they don't know if it was intentional or not. But then you have other people saying that the person that ran into the group of people was unconscious when he did it. But the craziest thing about this story is, out of the group of people that got injured, one of them had a gunshot wound. Now, I want you to try and process what I just said. I said that one person out of the people that were injured had a gunshot wound. Where did that happen at? Yeah, okay. I'm out.
That's the truth. They work for us. We have the power. We decide what's hot. If we don't go, nobody goes. If we don't support, nobody supports. We control what's cool. We control what's hot. We control what your kids listen to, what they dance to. We control what's in video games. We control how they wear their pants, sag their pants. We control everything.
Y'all know we made it to the end of this, and if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. Y'all know we coming with about 4 videos every smooth 7. This is for entertainment purposes as well. When you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, helps Collective grow, helps Collective get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. But I appreciate y'all again. Love y'all Collective. Hope y'all having a smooth 7. You watching on your TV, whatever the case is, I wish it was smooth 7 as well. But until I see y'all in the next one, y'all know what it is. We gone.
Ay, yeah, I just check my account. Sheesh, at the amount. You probably know